I'ma
get in there like I'm supposed to. Gotta do it like I'm supposed to. Real nigga.
I swim in your ocean, girl, I don't need my swim kit. I'm under the water, girl, I can see what's in.
Yo, y'all know what it is, a Battle with the Sexes podcast. It's your boy Malik DFG Perry. I'm here with the lovely
Brittany German.
And man, we got a nice little series going on, man. It's the married series, man. Getting an opportunity to talk to all married couples out there, man. Seeing, how they start came and, some of the pros and cons of that relationship, some of the things they went through to make them who they are and decide them to get married, man. So we vibe first, get a little bit of music playing, but we gonna turn it down some, man. We got some great people in here right now. You want to introduce them? They're your people. You want to introduce them, man?
My favorite two people in the world, minus my son, but Tracina and Ryan Miller, who are near and dear to my heart. So without further ado, hi, Millers.
What's up?
Can y'all hear us?
Yeah. Yep. Can y'all hear
All right,
me?
how y'all doing?
Millers.
How y'all doing?
What's happening?
Good.
How are y'all today?
Tired.
Yeah, right. So I don't think that you all know Malik. This is Malik Perry.
How are you guys doing?
Nice to meet you, bro.
Good.
That is Ryan Miller and Tracina Miller.
Okay. Well, we're excited that you guys are a part of it, man. We're doing something special. We're doing our married couple, our marriage series. And we got a nice little end of the time activity that we all gonna do and have fun with and give you opportunity to win something, win a couple dollars or win a date on us or something of that nature. So we have a nice time interviewing with the married couples and trying to figure out how you guys got your start and how you keep up the spice up in your relationship. So I'm gonna turn it over to Miss German and let her ask her questions. She got some questions.
Alrighty, so y'all know, I know. But can you tell the people how you two first came together, before marriage, of course? How did you meet each other and how did you first start dating?
I talk, surprisingly. Ryan usually the talker, but I talk tonight because I feel comfortable because it's my cousin. So, so we first met. Well, actually, I knew his sister ever since I was about 17 or 18. She was my minister at the time that me and Brittany went to the same church, and so I didn't even know that she had a brother. And one day she was just like, I want you to meet my brother. And I was like, I didn't even know that you had a brother or whatever. So to be honest, it's kind of funny. I actually only went out with him because I was crazy about his sister. And so so we were out, me and my best friend, we still best friends to this day. And Brittany, of course, we were all kind of shocked and excited that I was going out with Tori's brother. So that was about 16 years ago.
Yeah. Get that number right.
I know, I forgot now.
Yeah. So from her perspective, that's how it went, yeah, of course. But then on the other side of that, my sister, she basically was like, I got somebody for you to meet. Because at the time I was still kind of going through motions with a young lady that I had been with for about 5 years or so. And so my sister was just like, nah, that's not it for you. So I got somebody for you to meet. So the first time I went up there to meet Trey wasn't thinking
I was trying to
nothing.
get some food.
She wasn't thinking nothing about me, actually. So, we standing in front of the church or whatever. And she's, hey, Ryan, this Trey, this Ryan. Trey said, hi, Tori, you know where my mama at? I'm trying to get
Oh!
You remember that, Brittany?
She wasn't thinking nothing about me. Man.
So she was just trying to get a meal. She was focused on the meal, and she thought this was going to be a temporary conversation and nothing long term is how I'm getting it right now.
Right.
Yeah, she wasn't thinking nothing about me. Shame.
Right. So
Go do your thing. I'm sitting back.
no, you don't have to sit back.
Do your thing.
So when did either one of you guys realize Oh, this could be the one. Like, well,
Before that, let's get to the first date.
Oh, okay.
How was the first date? Tell me
Okay.
what the first date was. If you can remember the first date, what was the first date like?
I remember the first date. Of course, Brittany was. No, Brittany wasn't there, but she knew. I had just had a fresh little roller wrap. You know, I was smaller at the time, so I had and a tank top from I think Ellis Ayers. Me and Brittany went to get her or something. I don't know. And I was staying at my friend's house who lived in Oak Landing at the time, so I was staying at her house or whatever. And then Ryan came pick me up. We went to Old Charlie's on Shaylin.
Yep.
Old Charlie's on Shaylin, and went down to the canal. And I was still all excited because it was, you know, Tori's brother. I wasn't even tripping. I was like, I'm just going out with Tori's brother. It was so cool. So that was our first date. And
He took you to the canal, though. He took you to the canal. That was a big time move right there.
Hey.
You don't understand. That canal make or break relationships, because that's a long. That's a long.
Oh man, look, she's still thinking on the date. You know, hey, that's Tori's brother. That's all that mattered, right? But I can't say that I knew she was the one at that moment.
Right.
But I will say, when she starts smashing, like, you know, some chicks, they afraid to eat in front of somebody. Not this one, man. She was straight smashing, dude. So I was like, you know what? I like her. If she ain't afraid to eat in front of me, I can deal with that. I can rock with that. So yeah, it was a good first date.
so after the first date, how many dates did you guys have? And were you solo on those dates?
What do you mean solo? What do you mean?
Was it just y'all two on the dates?
Yeah, yeah.
You came. Yeah, her and my other friends. We always hung out. You
Oh,
know.
so he was dating the whole crew.
He was.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Hey Malik, hey. Now you know Brittany well enough now. All females in the family, dude.
Uh-huh. You was dating the whole crew. Hey, I got a date. You want to come? Yeah. Look, I got my sister, my auntie Boo Boo. We all on a date together. How did you handle that? How did you handle that date with all of them, man?
Man, you know what? To tell you the truth, it really wasn't out of the norm for me anyway, because I grew up around all females anyway. You know, my grandmother, my mother, my sister. You know, I do have a brother, but, you know, our family is predominantly women, man. So it really wasn't too much to it. I already knew the game coming into it. But I will tell you this, since Brittany want to bring up dates.
She gonna talk about King's Island.
You already, look, Brittany, I already know what I'm talking about. Malik, they tried to play me, man.
Yeah,
They tried to play me. I took them to King's Island or whatever. And we was at, the pizza place?
Yeah.
So, look, I'm one of them people, I get kind of irritable when I'm hungry. So I'm going through the line. I get my food, and I hurry up and sit down because I'm hungry, man. So they having a little conversation in the back. I think, who did you say it or did Brittany say it?
I don't even remember.
One of them said, so he ain't gonna pay for your food.
It was three of us though. It was three of us.
So he's supposed to pay for all three.
No. Her food. It was three of us. It was her best friend, myself, and Trey.
Well, he ain't have to pay for the food at that time.
So
Did you pay for King's Island?
No.
I probably did. I probably did for her.
Oh, you ain't had to pay for the food.
Nevertheless, so I'm getting dogged. Then we end up leaving Kings Island early or something like that. We go to a restaurant. What restaurant? Ponderosa. I end up paying for all three of them at Ponderosa. So look, you see how quick the game changed.
Uh-huh. It went from, they probably was talking like, girl, we don't like him. Don't talk to him.
We didn't say we don't like him.
So then he paid for Ponderosa.
We never would have said we
On
don't like him.
top of that, I drove.
What'd you say?
I said on top of that, I drove too.
You did drive. Yep.
Look at Billy's face.
Hey, every time we have these Zoom couples come in, the men just keep winning more and more. Okay?
Right.
We just keep getting more points added onto the board. Every time we have a Zoom couple, it's facts. It's a factual statement. Hey, when we drop episode 6, you're gonna know what I mean. I'm telling you, you're gonna know what I mean.
Hi. Now you winning. Anyway, so next question. How did y'all know that, okay, so this might be something more than just a boyfriend, girlfriend, or something more than serious. Like, I mean, not something more than serious, but you know, something more that is on the verge of being serious, and he might be the one.
Okay. Well, first I'll say this: Trey didn't even know at the time she was my girlfriend.
This is true.
You never asked me.
She maintains that I never asked her, but I'm like, I don't think I had to ask you because I'm spending all my time with you. I'm with you every day. I talk to you all the time. I mean, at that juncture, she was comfortable going in my wallet, taking money to get her hair done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Listen,
it didn't have to be said. It was understood. You know what I'm saying?
I tell people all the time, man, when you get a relationship, man, you got to let it fall organically. Ain't we too old to be saying you my boyfriend, you my girlfriend? It's a vibe. Once you get comfortable to go in this man's wallet and he's okay with that, y'all together, okay? ain't no it's no ands and buts about it. Like he said, was understood does not need to be explained. And guess what? You understood. That's why you went in his wallet. He ain't had to explain it.
But when I figured out that it could really be something more, man, I remember she had went to Atlanta. I think it was for like a week or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And while she was gone throughout that week, like we had been together so much, I was really sitting there thinking like, man, I really miss her. You know, like couldn't wait for her to get back. And so when she got back, she was over her best friend's house and I went over there to go see her. She said, come see me. So I went over there. And she opened the door, and when she hugged me, I was like, man, I think I love this girl, man. So from there on, it was it for me. I don't know really what she thought at that moment, but that was it.
She still thought she was glad she was dating her best friend's brother. That's what she did.
Right. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's the same.
Oh, same. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
You just saying that because
You just saying that because he's sitting right there? Listen, let me tell you something about this podcast. We own our truth. We speaking real. This is real. If you don't have, what was your moment, miss? He gave me his moment, and guess what? He just gave us 3 points. He gave us 3 points from that moment. Okay?
Really?
He swear. Bye.
So how long during the dating process did the I love you happen? You know what I'm saying? So, because I'm a firm believer, I'm big on loving somebody and being in love with two different things. So, you know, me loving you, well, how long throughout that relationship time frame you remember, you know what, and I see you remember the moment, you know, that you guys say, you know what, you know, I love this woman. And then who was the first to say I love you?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh!
Remember that. I low-key don't remember that, to tell you the truth.
I promise I don't. I don't remember.
I don't know, bro. Like, for real.
That's
like,
awful.
And what's crazy about the whole thing is like, whenever it happened, we knew that it was real. Because with her, I took a whole different approach in relationships, man. How long was it before I even kissed you? I mean, we dealing with a few months, 3, 4, 5 months, something like that, you know. We really developed a friendship, man, before we really got deep into it. The I love you probably came shortly after that Atlanta trip, somewhere around there. I don't remember who said it first, but
remember.
it just kind of happened. So,
how long was it that you were seeing each other, or you know, before the Atlanta trip? What's the time span of the Atlanta trip?
March, April, May, June, July, 6 months.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. 6 months.
I felt comfortable. I felt really comfortable around him because I knew his background. I knew, you know, his sister for a few years.
Plus, my sister threatened me and said I better treat her right. So, anybody who know my sister knows she got some hands. So, I wasn't trying to mess up on that one. So.
Right.
So let's look at first impressions. What was your first impressions of one another?
She ain't thinking about
sit back. If you could sit back and remember.
She ain't thinking nothing about me. That was she ain't want nothing to do with me.
I didn't know that Tori had a brother, but I remember him coming into the church, but I just didn't know.
I say she was,
No, that's your pre first. What is your, like, upon you seeing him, what was your first impression?
Oh, no,
Besides food. Yeah,
right.
when you saw him.
Food. Today, I thought he was a nice gentleman. He was really nice. He was respected me. I could tell that he put me first. So let's see.
I was like, that flat iron looked nice, and so did
I
them
did not
hips.
have a
That
flat
was
iron,
my
I had a
first
roller
thought.
She said I did not have a flat on, I had a roller wrap.
I
Hey,
did.
flat iron, roller wrap, whatever it was, it looked nice, and so did that outfit. So
Yeah, Brittany, me and Brittany went to LSR to get that. You remember Brittany?
LSA is
Mm-mm.
that around
It was
anymore?
our store though.
Been
I
together
don't
too.
remember.
Jesus.
What'd you say, Ryan?
I said, is LS Ayers even around anymore? So
Nah.
we done been together.
Because that
too long.
turned into Macy's. And then that
What you
What you
drink?
got? You got your questions? Come on. Let's,
Yeah.
We got our hands. We got to get the juicy stuff. We had the juicy stuff for the other people. Go ahead. No.
Oh. Uh-oh.
We're going to get into the nitty gritty. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Oh, shit.
So how do you two keep the spice between you two? So do you want to introduce like your family dynamics first? Like
What is the Miller family dynamic? That's
Right.
Here we go.
3 daughters and a girl dog. So I'm totally outnumbered up in here. That's number one.
and do you want to say the names?
Yeah, our oldest daughter, Ilea, she's 12. Our middle daughter, Eileen, she's 6. Yeah. And Isley, our baby, she just turned 1 in March.
And Eileen is 2.
Yeah, the dog is 2. So, yeah.
Right. So how do you keep the spice between the two of you with 3 girls and a dog?
We was going to say 4 girls.
4 girls.
This is where she gets shy. I'm gonna let you start. Go ahead.
No,
How do you keep the spice?
Well, I would say that, okay, so let me go back. Me, as Brittany knows, we are all very family oriented. So I would say that we kind of, when it comes to just us, our nuclear family, or me and Ryan spending time, we really have to work on that, and we're working on that because we're so family oriented. So I think that during this quarantine time, we've really gotten to spend a lot of good times together. Even before that, like Ryan's always does a good time, has done a good job of, like I said, putting me first. He'll send me texts throughout the day. He'll always tell me that, you know, he loves me, that I look nice. So he does do a good job with those affirmations. So I say that's how, and he likes to buy me nice things. But even though that don't matter, but I'm just saying that's
What I buy you today?
Love languages.
Yep. Love
What'd you
language.
say? Can you repeat that? What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
He said, what did he buy me today? And I said, I'm not gonna say.
Oh.
But anyway, so let me go back. So during this quarantine time, we're really starting to spend more time with each other. We're starting to not take advantage of the time. Ryan is always busy with the church, and he's usually always gone. But even when he is gone, I don't have to ever worry about anything. He always know where he is. He always knows where I am. So that's how we, you know,
Keep the spice.
the spice. And
Now,
Is that keeping the spice?
Ryan can say more.
Hey, Ryan about to represent the
that
men
keeping
right
the
now.
spice?
Ryan just said, I'm
That's
about to.
I'll put it like this. When it comes down to keeping the spice and all of our family dynamics that we have, you know, everything that she said is right. But I mean, that's one area, especially when you have kids, you just got to be intentional about it. You know what I mean? You got to, we got to come together. We got to connect. I'm in the prime of my life. I'm in my 30s, so I'm ready to go whenever, however, you know what I mean? And I ain't got to feel guilty about it because I'm married. So you just got to be intentional. And I don't even really hide the fact from my kids. You know what I mean?
No, all his family is,
Now,
our family,
we
my
open like
family
that.
is not as open when it comes to speaking.
Right. Yeah.
It's very open.
Yeah. And I
That's
just
how my family is. We real open.
I'm not vulgar about it with the kids, but I let them know, hey, me and your mama got to go and spend some time together.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They be on their iPad and stuff anyway, so they
Yeah.
don't care. And then the baby do whatever.
Yep, they know not to bother us. And so I'm like, hey, come on, let's go. So, but everything that she said is right. She does well with, you know, affirmations, and she'll send me little things throughout text and things like that. So it's constant communication, you know, and just intentionally making time for each other. So that's how we keep it going.
So you guys, you just said communication. What other things keep your relationship positively moving forward? I know communication is one. So what would be the top and, like, you know, different tiers of keeping a positive relationship going?
I think that even before me and Ryan got married, we knew what our goals were. Even before, you know, we communicated, we knew that divorce was not an option. Now, somebody like beating you or something like that, if it's not safe, then I suggest not staying. I'm not a marriage counselor, but I'm just saying. But we knew that divorce was not an option. So we both know that God is first. We know, you know, I don't put Ryan in front of God. Then, you know, it's Ryan, and then our family. So that's what keeps us going. When those hard times come, that's what we focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to keep it centered on God first and foremost. I mean, that's just how we operate. That may not be for everybody, but that's what works for us, and that's what keeps it all together. Like, even when we go through those hard times and dealing with different things that every relationship goes through, we go back to our center, we go back to God, and we just realize, hey, what we said at the altar, we got to mean that, and we got to keep that, even though it don't feel good sometimes, you know what I mean? There could be times where we just simply don't like each other, but like is not a grounds to call it quits. You know what I mean? We made a vow to one another in front of God and in front of our families too. So as long as we stay centered on that, and then everything else flows out of that, you know, God first, each other next. Like, even when my kids want to act up and talk crazy to her, I tell my kids, my wife was here before you, so you need to respect my wife. And then we deal with the kids and then everything else. So that's how we keep it together.
Oh, and we also grew together too.
Yeah.
I think that helped a lot too.
Yeah, we got married at 22. Yeah.
So we both grew together. You know,
so you spoke about those trying times. What are some things you guys do as couples when you do go through those times where, you know, you don't like each other and you need that time of yourself to separate, that alone time till you come back together, talk about it, or miss each other? What are some of you guys do? What are some things you do as a couple to, you know, just kind of tear that line when it's like, you know what, I'm not feeling you, you're not feeling me, we need a break? So what are some coping things that you guys do during those time frames?
This might sound funny, but I'm not bragging or nothing. Well, I ain't lying, Brittany, no. We really never really had too many hard times until year 10 came.
Yeah.
And it was family the reason why we got, you know, into it. I was almost on my way to actually divorcing Ryan, to be honest. You know, if it wasn't for our pastor calling me, well, I wasn't gonna answer the phone, but we probably wouldn't be together now. But I think that once I realized, you know, everything that we had invested in each other, you know, and I knew that Ryan really loved me in our vows, that's what turned it around for me.
You got any?
Y'all waiting on me. Yeah, like she said, it really wasn't until year 10. I mean, we had some great years before year 10, and we've had great years since that year 10, you know what I mean? But when it all went down, you know, we were apart for what, 2-3 days, something like that. You know, she was at her mom's house, I was still here, or whatever the case may be. And like she said, you know, our pastor called her. Of course, he called me, and we got just some counsel from people who want to see us win. And I think that's real important in any relationship. You got to have people who are on your team rooting for you, helping you to win. Like, even when you want to call it quits, you got to have some friends to come alongside you, be like, nah, y'all got too much going on. Y'all got kids. Y'all have invested too much. You know what I mean? So I think that's really what helps us win. A lot of times, even when we have disagreements, like my friends and my cousin specifically, he'll call me on my bull crap. You know what I mean? Like, hey, dude, you was wrong. You need to go and fix that.
Brittany do that
Yeah,
too to
and
me.
Brittany do
And
the
my
same
best
thing with
friends.
her. So we got people who want us to win. And as far as me, how I cope with different things and cool down until I'm ready to talk to her,
Video games.
I play some 2K or something like that. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm not going anywhere and being gone, and she doesn't know where I am. You know, we can still be in the house together. She'll be upstairs. I'll be downstairs on the game, but we'll cool off for a period. We'll come back together. First, we'll say that we love each other, and then we'll talk it out. You know what I mean? So that's how we pretty much cope with things when they come up.
So you don't got to go in depth. What made year 10 so hard? Because, like you said, you guys had great years before year 10. And then after that year 10 mark, you said you guys have a lot of great years after that. So what made year 10 so hard? You don't got to go in depth if you don't want to go in depth. But just, just to paint a picture on why year 10 was so hard and almost ended you guys. I mean, I don't know you, but you guys are very strong. You look very confident together, look strong together. So what was at that point that almost tore you guys apart?
I would say, well, at the time we were a family of 4. My baby daughter wasn't born yet. And so a situation that went down in my immediate family, where our family grew from 4 to 8 overnight. And I had to take in some family members, man, and it just created a dynamic to where it's like, because of my background and things that I went through as a child, I didn't want the same things to happen to my family members as well. So I took on the responsibility of bringing them here while the situation was worked out. And it just caused some strain, man. You know, my wife felt like that I was putting them before her. And then I felt like at the same time, like, man, you need to be kind of understanding, like, this is my family. I'm just trying to help them get through. And so it was just a clashing from both of those points, man. And it came to a head. You know, it was like, hey, it's either them or me. And I was like, why does it have to be them or you? Why can't it be both? Because the situation was only temporary, you know what I mean? So we both in the situation, I think, have valid points to feel the way that we felt. But after coming out of it, I think we both gained the understanding that, hey, no matter what, if it's immediate family, if it's a close friend, if it's anything like that, we still can't let anybody come between us. And we almost did. So that's why we almost failed, man.
And then you guys said another thing that was important, that you guys had a lot of people that was on your side that wanted you guys to win. And I think a lot of relationships nowadays, you got those friends and that don't want to see you fail, but when things get rocky, it's the I told you. It's those I told you people in your corner. It was like, when I mean in the sense of like, some people have a lot of people in their corner, it's like they want you to fail because they're not happy with themselves. So when they see you happy as a couple, whether it's a marriage, whether a relationship, when one instance goes wrong, their immediate thing is to think negative. So I think, like you guys said, having those people in your corner that's on the positive side that want to see you win and want to see what's best and not just have you give up is crucial. And I think a lot of people need to know that. It's just a lot of marriages fail because once something goes wrong, whether it's an argument, I know some things are non-negotiable. I know some things like fighting, beating, domestic violence, you got to go. But some things I feel like as a couple, as a married couple, relationship, whatever, you got to work through. You got to have those people around you that's going to help you work through it instead of telling you to give up. So I think that's extremely important.
Yeah. So I have a question. So I, of course, know your backgrounds, both of your backgrounds. Can you tell the people without, if whatever detail you want to go into, you don't have to go full-fledged. Were you guys raised similar growing up in your childhood? What are the...
I speak on that. I don't care. As long as I can help somebody out, I'm not, going to hide nothing or whatever. But I think that our backgrounds were different. Me and Brittany grew up together. I'm the only child biologically. It was just me and my mom. My mom is a single parent. Dad in and out of the picture. He paid child support, whatever. I got other siblings on my daddy's side. I guess I was spoiled. I didn't even realize I was spoiled until I got into I was like 18 or 19 years old, because it was just really not. It was just normal for us.
Yeah.
I didn't have to want, even though my mama was a single parent, I didn't have to want for anything because if my mama couldn't get it, my Auntie Kimmy would get it. If my Auntie Kimmy couldn't get it, then my grandma would get it. And also, education was always pushed. We didn't have a choice but to go to college. It was nothing, that's just the way it was. So that's what my background was, church. Mama always took me to church, me and my cousin Brittany. So I had a good biblical background. So that's a little bit about me. Ron, you want to tell?
Yeah. Well, our childhoods were similar in the sense that we were both raised by single parents. You know what I mean? Up until I was 11, I was with my mom, and then from 11 to 18, I was with my grandmother. So we both were raised by single women. Both had the similar church background. My grandmother always made sure, even when I was with my mom, that I always went to church and different things like that. So I was just brought up in the environment and things like that. She says she's the only child. Well, I'm the youngest. So think about that dynamic, being the only child and then being the baby. So both of us really was spoiled. Well, I can still say is spoiled. I'm still spoiled.
Yeah, you both are still spoiled.
So we got that dynamic going on in the relationship. But yeah, other than that, well, the first 11 years of my life really weren't that stable. You know what I mean? I moved around a lot. And I often share with people this testimony. I'm not ashamed of it. The house that we built and are living in now, this is the 33rd place that I've lived in my life. So me and my mom, we moved around a whole lot and, just struggled with stability and different things like that. But once I got with my grandmother, it was cool. And, she provided a stable home for me, a good environment. So yeah, we got some similarities and some differences.
So how was Ryan? How was that you as growing up with a single mom and things of that nature? How did that help you or impact you in a positive way in regards to being married? So being that husband and being that father, making sure you see that stability because all you've been around was women. How did that impact you in regards to being successful in your marriage?
Well, number one, it taught me how I should treat women. That's number one because my mom, she always made sure that I was respectful, and my grandmother definitely made sure I was respectful. And me and my older sister, we're very, very close. And so she also taught me a lot about that too. So I knew how it is, how I should treat a woman, but then also it impacted me in the sense that, my dad was around, but he could have been more active in the first part of my life. You know what I mean? We ended on great terms, which is great, but it just showed me that, man, I know what it feels like to be the kid that didn't have a whole family. You know what I mean? And that's something that I always wanted. And so I always said to myself, whenever I get married and I get my own family, I want to be a great husband and I want to be a great father because that's exactly what I desired to have when I was a kid. So that's how it impacted me.
That's good. So do you think that between you two, there are non-negotiables for each other?
In regards to what?
In regards to ways of life, like lying, cheating, or spending money frivolously, or are there any non-negotiables that it's just like, this is not gonna work, I'm out?
I think if Ryan put his hands on me, it'll be a wrap. Because I don't want my girls to think that that's okay. Mm-hmm. I think that's something non-negotiable. I think cheating is non-negotiable because the Bible says that the husband should love his wife as he does the church. So I think once you violate that, you violated that in the marriage. I don't really think that finances are really that. I'm okay with that. That doesn't really bother me because I don't know if it's because when we first got together we didn't have nothing. So I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, that finances really don't bother me. I don't mind Because there's been times where Ryan had a job and I ain't had no job, or I had a job and Ryan ain't had, I mean, vice versa. So that's really, I think we can get through stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, man, it's kind of hard to say. I don't really know what I would do in a situation like if she cheated. You know what I mean? I can't just up and say right now, hey, we just completely done.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would just have to consider where we are right now. You know, hey, we're about to be 14 years in on marriage on May 20th. We 3 kids in, you know what I mean? So I can't.
And a dog.
And a dog. So I can't really just say, you know, you out the door. You know what I mean? I think with her, I don't know if I would have did it with anybody else, but with her, I would fight till I couldn't fight anymore, probably. That's just how I feel about it. I know she says if I cheat, she's out. Hey, I respect that. That's cool or whatever. But for me, I don't know. I would probably try to fight. And if we could get some help, hey, let's get some help. Because, I mean, let's be honest, ain't nobody in this world perfect. You know what I mean? Please don't cheat on me. I don't want you to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to.
I don't think you have to worry about that.
Dance, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, stuff happens sometimes, man. And some people don't intentionally try to cheat. You know what I mean? They can just fall into that kind of thing. So
I think that,
you just got to be careful.
I think that with the cheating thing or whatever, I feel like I don't have to ever think about doing that because Ryan has always, well, besides when those kids was here, has always, you know, done a good job putting me first. And I've never had to, another man, why would I, you know, throw all this away for another man? You know what I'm saying? It's just stupid. Like, I mean, I don't know. And I think the reason why I say that I'll be out is because coming from a single parent, you know, that comes from just what I was taught from my mama. Like, no, you ain't. So I think that's instilled in me too.
From a line of strong Black women who.
On both sides, though.
Yeah.
On both sides. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So I have a question.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
He up to something.
In regards to like lying, okay? Would you, in the 6 of your marriage, would you lie? Would any of you lie for the sake of your other partner's happiness? So like if you're not happy in a certain area or vice versa, will you lie to your partner to make them seem like you're happy just to make them happy?
No.
No. I'm a pretty honest person.
Yeah.
Ryan, no, ain't pretty good too.
Honest to the core.
Sometimes I'm too honest. I consider it a blessing and a curse.
Harsh.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No.
I think that's our family in general. We tell it like it is. We are cut and dry.
Right.
We don't like to be beat around the bush. Like, tell us what it is, and we're going to handle it from there, and that's it. That's like all of our family, I think. Do you agree, Ryan?
Man, you know I do. It's like, man, my wife is honest even when it's harsh, man. Like, if I get her a gift or something like that and she don't like it, she be like, nah, nah.
That ain't it.
Yeah, that ain't it. That ain't it. And I'm just like, at first I'd be like, the nerve. But then I'm like, well, at least she honest about what she want. You know what I'm saying? So, but in terms of me, no, I'm not going to lie and pretend that I'm happy when I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm just, if I feel like I need to be getting some loving some more, then I'm going to tell you. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. Like, hey, you've been slacking a little bit.
It don't be probably like 2 days, then he be saying I'm slacking.
I'm in the prime of my life.
You're in your 30s, baby.
I'm in the prime of my life. So, hey, I'll slow down one day, maybe. I don't know.
He said maybe. Oh my gosh.
I'm in the prime right now. Get her done.
Let me get out the frame. I don't want to hear this.
What you got going on?
Go ahead.
What else? Let me see. I got some good questions over here, man. Okay.
Did you say I don't got nothing but time?
Right.
So I have a question. How do you two lift each other up? Like, not when you're sad, but how do you lift each other up to the next level? For example, I know, and I even though I'm going to share this example, I want both of you to each to come up with your own example. So I know, for example, that Trey has a bachelor's in biology. Well, she went through an accelerated program. It was supposed to be a bachelor's to master's program for her nursing. But she couldn't finish, unfortunately, to her master's. Well,
I didn't want to don't be dramatic.
We are raw. Listen, this is a raw podcast. That's why Brittany is Angela Yee. She want to give you the roundabout answer. We like it direct. Our people like direct.
This is my second bachelor's. I said I don't need
you. Okay, she be on the live. Tracy to be on the live. Right, she know how we get down. We are straightforward, uncut. Don't go around the bush to get to the answer.
Okay, so she quit, but there was some racism involved at her school, and so she quit. And I didn't want to go into all of that, but there was some racism involved against her, and she quit, and she didn't want to go any further. Well, she got was it a phone call or an email that said, "Thank you for enrolling in Indiana Wesleyan," and she's like, "What? I didn't enroll in my master's program. What is going on?" Well, her husband enrolled for her. That was her push. Like, he's like, "Look, you've been talking about this for a long time. I'm just going to enroll you, and you're going to do it." And she did it, and she has her master's in nursing and a bachelor's in biology. So,
can I say something fast?
Yes.
You just gave us another point.
So that was a real positive push. Uplifting your spouse in a good way, because you knew that she'd been talking about it for a couple years. Like, she ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna pull this trigger for her. She succeeded with honors. And anyway, what are some of those ways that you two push each other to the next level? You can't use that one. Can't use that excuse. Example. But what are some ways that you push each other to the next level to succeed in life and for your family, for your nuclear family, and just in life in general, for the betterment?
I got one that just recently happened, and I'm guilty of this too. I've been telling Ryan, I feared that I would get a call stating that Ryan had a heart attack or something, passed away, because I noticed that. I mean, I love him no matter what, of course, but Ryan was starting to gain too much weight, and I kept saying, "Ryan, you need to, lose some weight." I got my nerves. I know I need to too. I'm just, hey, whatever. Anyway. I kept saying, "Ryan, you need to lose some weight. So finally, instead of just saying it, I just started praying, like, "Lord, just, help him get up and, lose weight." So eventually, after that, I stopped nagging him, I guess. And he got the phone call stating that he was a diabetic back in, pre-diabetic, whatever, back in November. And since then, I pushed him. I said, "Ryan, we're going to, go to the store. I'm going to help you get, the stuff you need to get." Now, mind you, I didn't get it for me. I got it for him. Anyway, but, and since then, he's lost 30 pounds. So that was great to see him, get that accomplishment. His doctor was very, very proud of him. So, yeah. And I'm pushing for him to go back for his, and get his doctorate. So I think that'll be in our 40s, though.
It's gotta be in our 40s, because right now I just don't see it. That's stressful thinking, man. But ways that I uplift her and push her, like even though she has her master's in nursing and things like that, I've always told my wife that she has the kind of personality to where she's not a worker bee. You know what I mean? She's not one to just go in and clock in and work for somebody. That's not in her personality. And there's just been a handful of situations over the years since she's been a nurse where she's clashed with a manager for whatever reason. And I keep telling her, hey, that's the reason why you need to do your own thing. You need to have your own stuff. or you need to go higher, whether that be like a nurse practitioner, you want to get your doctorate in nursing, or doing your own business, which she's in the works of that right now. You know, she's been educating herself on the process. She's about to write a business plan for her own nursing business and things like that. And so I always encourage her, I always push her, and I let her know, like, hey, babe, you can do it. You know, she even had a moment last night to where
I was shocked.
she just started crying because something good that happened. Yeah, she just started crying because something good happened. It's just, hey, I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it. Keep going, and you're going to accomplish that dream. And I told her, like, even with that dream, like, whatever you need, I'm here to help you. You know what I mean? Of course, I know it'll benefit our family in the future, but it's like, I want to see you win. I want to see you have your own stuff. So you need me to do some paperwork. You need me to type you up something. You need me to make you a website, whatever the case may be. Like, I'll do that for you. So I uplift her by helping her and encouraging her because I want to see her win.
So you guys were together, was it 14 years? Married 14 years. Okay. How long were you guys together before you guys got married?
A year and a half.
Yeah.
A year.
Well, we were officially dating starting that summer, so
That winter.
Yeah.
No, because remember, I forgot to tell y'all this. The first time. No,
I know what you.
The first
I know what you about to
Ryan
say.
called me, it was probably like 6 months earlier. He called me.
05?
No, it wasn't 05.
04,
04,
something like
03,
that,
something like that. Ryan called me, so we talked maybe a couple times. Then he didn't call me back no more. He still was kicking it with one of his other girls, I guess, or something. He didn't want to.
I wasn't all the way done. hey, Malik, you know how it goes. I wasn't all the way done. You know what I mean? So I wasn't about to commit to something new, and I wasn't all the way done. That wouldn't have been fair to her.
I wasn't even tripping.
That's what women don't understand, man. We taking this time apart to learn us and get the BS out, so we're ready for the person that we're with, man. We want to be with. So sometimes you gotta let the BS. You gotta let me venture off of this BS so I can come back and be 100% for you. You listen.
Just don't take too long doing it.
Hey man, that's why my sister was like, "Yeah, you need to chill out. I got somebody for you to meet. You do it too much." That was my sister's way of calming me down too.
Mm-hmm. So you know, you guys at the year and a half, what made you pop the question? What made you say, you know what, this is who I want to be with? I want to marry you. What made you know? How did you know, like, this is the person I want?
Well, just really just how the whole relationship went, man, just from beginning. It was totally different from anything I'd ever done before, you know what I mean? Like, I had never really approached a relationship with anybody talking about let's be friends first, or going through that process of really getting to know somebody. I mean, when you young and dumb and a teenager, you know what I mean? It's all about physical attraction. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. But with her, you know, like I said, we didn't kiss for a few months or anything like that. We really took time learning each other. And we told the story about Atlanta. That's when I figured out that I loved her. And so we had got through the holiday season, something like that. And I just decided, hey, this is the girl I want to spend the rest of my life with. Like, I knew it. I felt it. Like, I didn't want to deal with anybody else. We were already together every single day. We talked every day. We were always together. We always were on dates. A day didn't go by that we weren't talking. And so I decided to get a ring. Her mom helped me get the ring. She was all excited and hyped. Malik, if you don't know Mia, you're going to get to know her eventually if you're dealing with Brittany. But, man, I just figured in my heart that she was it. And so I popped the question. She came out the bathroom. I wish I would have did a little bit more romantic, but I was nervous. So she came out the bathroom. I was on my knee. And I asked her to be my wife. She said, yeah.
And you grinning.
Well, I'm supposed to be doing.
What you say?
Sorry.
Deadpan.
What she say?
I said, what I'm supposed to be doing, crying.
Negro.
But that's my version. You know what, Malik? That's actually a good question. Cause you ain't never told me when you figured out you wanted to marry me.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know this.
When we got back from Atlanta.
That's all. You knew you wanted to marry me then? I don't know if I was ready for marriage. I knew I loved you. I ain't know if I wanted. All right then. Hey,
So what made you know that you said when you got back from Atlanta, that's when you knew? How did you know that's when you knew you wanted to marry him? Like he was the person you wanted to marry?
Because I knew he was in church, but we didn't have a lot of money at the time, so you know, whatever. He respected me. I knew that he wanted to be something in life. We was only 22, but I knew that he wasn't going to be a deadbeat. Like I said, and I knew his family. I mean his sister. So I kind of knew. I don't know if it was somebody who I didn't know their family prior to that, if it would have been different. But that's what it was for me. And he told me he wanted to be a dentist, so I thought that I was gonna be rich.
So it was about.
What is your profession right now, Ryan?
I'm an associate pastor at my church. So
Excellent.
That's far from dentistry.
Right.
It's better than dentistry.
I agree.
Better than dentistry.
I agree.
Pros and cons.
That's nigga.
Segue.
So what are some of the pros and cons between, since you mentioned pros and cons, what are the, what'd you say?
I'll definitely share.
Oh,
The pros are that I know that he's doing something that he, is called to do. That's one of the pros. I know that he's helping people. I like seeing that. I know that he's living right. He's not perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. So those are some of the pros. I know he can go far. Now the cons are, I'm still learning, is the time, the time management. I think he's doing better with trying to balance that. But I think that's one of the cons. And not too many cons though. The money God provides, I don't worry about the money. I don't worry about money like that.
Right.
But yeah, it's a blessing. So that's one of the cons I would say is and the time, and I fear that Ryan is so generous and nice, he doesn't know when to stop.
Mm-hmm.
He's always doing something, always on the phone, somebody, it's always something. But like our pastor has done an excellent job, and I thank him for what, he's done for Ryan and our family. He's been exceptional. He's a very nice guy. So he has a great mentor. I do want to say that.
okay. For me, the pros for me is just knowing, like she said, I'm doing what I know I'm called to do. You know what I mean? And that's work. That's to help the ministry, to help the kingdom of God. That's what I'm called to do. Like she said, cons, sometimes it can be very time consuming, but at least in that, I know that even though it's time consuming, I know that what I do matters. You know what I mean? And so I just gotta really, like she said, work on my time management, different things like that. Sometimes I gotta know the difference of, sometimes I gotta leave work at work, when I come home, and I gotta give them what they deserve too. So I'm working on that though. I'm getting a little better. She was definitely right about that.
Oh, I got another con. This is probably more for me. I
mean, now, boy.
Shut up. You already know what I said. But anyway, another con is I struggle with opening up to people. I'm an honest person, but I'm very I wouldn't say private. I'm just a very introverted type person until you get to know me.
Antisocial.
Whatever. So
Antisocial is the word.
I struggle with,
antisocial.
I struggle with, are the relationships really genuine, or if it's just because of, what Ryan does, because he's also a musician at the church. So I struggle within myself, you know, if it's a genuine relationship or not, or if it's, you know, some bullcrap. So that's one of the cons that I've always dealt with.
Yeah, and me, I'm totally opposite. I'm like total extrovert, like open.
Butterfly.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I love everybody, even if they don't love me. You know what I mean? So, hey, it's interesting.
We always joke and say we getting to heaven on Ryan's back. The whole family.
I got my mansion because of Ryan.
Hey, Malik.
I'm living with
Hey,
Ryan.
Malik. I'm the last man standing in the family. Last man standing, boy. I'm still all of them.
He always says that.
So I got another good question. If you could choose your partner again after all these years, would you choose the same person and why?
I would choose Mr. James St. Patrick off of
you want James St. Patrick or you want Ghost? Which one you want? Which one?
Look, after she's like, well, I love Ryan because he must be first.
You are a whole nigga.
Oh, man. He was never faithful to Tasha.
No, I'm just playing. No, yeah, I would choose Ryan.
And why? Why would you choose the same person? Why would you choose the same person and why?
Yes, I would choose the same person because the reward is I can't put it into words. Like I said, Ryan is really a good guy. I don't think that I say it enough, to be honest, now that I think about it. I don't say it enough. I just assume that, you know, that he knows because I'm not, you know, like.
One of my love languages is affirmation. I tell her that all the time. I need to be affirmed.
And this is why
This
is why I don't share, which is not his fault. You know how people be on Facebook, be like, I thank God for, you know, my husband and all that, blah, blah. I don't do that because I don't want, and it's not his fault, and I shouldn't think that, but I don't want people to be like, oh, here she go again. Like, you know, you keep saying, so that's why I don't, because I'm like, Ryan knows, but I need to say more, so I'll say it publicly. Thank you for, you know, everything that you've done for me, for the girls, even for my family. I do really, really, really appreciate it. Like,
I got you.
So, yeah.
For me, yeah, I will choose my wife again, just because of everything that's come along with her. It's like, I don't have to worry about my wife, number one, having her attention elsewhere. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I'm real secure in that. Like, I'm really confident that she's not thinking about no other dude, like, straight up. And there's been numerous instances in our relationship to where dudes have tried to crack on her, and she's like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? So I trust her. I don't have to worry about where she's at, what she's doing, who she's texting, and nothing like that. I will choose her because of how driven she is. I don't think that I could have been with a woman who's lazy. You know what I mean? I needed to be with somebody who wanted to do something because I know in turn that will push me too. And I would choose her again because of my daughters. Definitely. We got some great daughters, man. Great daughters. My firstborn, she's so smart, man. She's smart. Like probably borderline genius level, man. Like she's great. And my middle kid, she's the comedian. You know what I mean? She's the real raw one. She got them all up and through it. Brittany and Trey family.
Ours none.
All day long. And then my baby girl, you know, she's coming into her own, man.
She's a trip.
Yeah, she's a trip. She got the Henderson attitude too, but it's all good. But everything that I've gained with my wife, man, there's no question that I would choose her again.
So how do you guys feel about marriage? Could you imagine yourself at this point, 3 kids and a dog, 14 years, well, I guess 15 and a half years. Can you imagine yourself shacking up and like doing what you're doing now without paper? How important to you is that piece of paper?
Well, I'll start there. honestly, from my perspective and how I was raised, and this is firmly what I believe, is not the piece of paper, really. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're lawfully married. We have the marriage certificate. Everything's great, yada, yada, yada. But marriage is more than a piece of paper. Marriage is not even a contract, in my opinion. Marriage is a covenant. And a covenant is a binding agreement, all right? In our case, it's a binding agreement between me, her, and God when we were standing at that altar. So a covenant is different from a contract. A contract can be broken, you know what I mean? But a covenant, you can't break out of that just like that. And so to be at this point, if we got all this, we built a house together, we didn't have 3 kids. I mean, honestly, at this point, if I hadn't married her, people be looking at me like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, why wouldn't I make her my wife at this point? So for me, and I know it's not for everybody, but I always knew that I wanted to be married. I wanted to be tied to one person. I couldn't imagine dating right now in my mid-30s. I just really couldn't imagine it. I'm comfortable being with one woman, and if God is good to us, man, look, I'll be old and I'll still be with her. You know what I mean? So marriage is everything.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off what Ryan said. It's a covenant, and even what we said before, like what I said in the beginning of this podcast, we went into it with divorce not being an option. I think now, real talk, you know, coming from a woman, I don't know if I could. I guess it's not fair for me to speak on this because I believe strongly in not speaking about something if I haven't experienced it, or giving advice if I haven't experienced it. But I will say this, I don't know if I could live with someone not being married and being in my 30s or whatever with girls and stuff, because like I said, I believe in generational curses. I don't want my girls to have to, you know, endure that and think that it's okay to take it. Now, he probably treat me just the same, but, and then in God's eyes, I can't say, I don't know because I'm not God, but I don't think that my life will be as rewarding if, you know, me and Ryan didn't have this covenant. I think that I would still be a curse to myself and to my girls and to my family. So, but I'm not sure, you know, so that's just my hypothesis, my thesis, or whatever.
Yeah, and the fact that we got girls, that's real important.
Yeah,
too.
I don't know if it'd be different because if I had boys, I mean, I'm not sure because I don't have any sons.
Like, yo, they often say that, listen, your daughter's gonna marry the kind of man that you are. And so with that in mind, I want my daughters to marry somebody of quality. You know what I mean? Somebody who will treat them like I treat their mama. You know what I mean? I don't want them marrying no bum who don't care and just want to dog them out and things like that. So that's another incentive for me to keep my marriage strong too, because I want my girls to have sense enough to know who you need to be with and who you don't need to be with.
Yeah, and I just want to have a rewarding and a blessed life, and we just want to continue to bless others.
So this part is fun for me. It's something new. I need you guys to look at each other face to face. Turn and look at each other. You each got to tell each other 4 positive qualities that you appreciate out of one another.
Okay. I appreciate your zeal for God. I appreciate
Zeal.
Yeah,
That's
a nice word.
I appreciate. Okay, y'all get a point. Y'all get a point. Ladies get a point. Fellas got a point.
I appreciate your drive. I appreciate your respect towards not only me, but towards the girls and to other women. And I appreciate that you, I always tell, now I do always say this, the same way that he is in public is the same way that he is privately. Now I have said that on Facebook. That's another point to leave. I'm just playing. But yeah, that's what I like most. Like, I don't believe, and Brittany, we the same way. I don't do no fake stuff. Like, I believe how you are.
We don't live alternate lifestyles. Yeah. It is what it is with us. Like all of us, our whole family. Yeah, what you get.
Okay, so nothing. I try to tell the truth. Like, so how he is, just like this is how Ryan is. Like, period. So that's my 4 things.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. I appreciate your love for God, number one. I appreciate how you love me. I appreciate.
Speak a little louder.
My bad. Okay. My fault. All right. And number one, I appreciate your love for God. I appreciate your love for me. I appreciate the way that you care for our daughters. You are an excellent mother, even though I don't always give you the credit that you deserve. I really appreciate how good of a mother you are. And I appreciate how you take care of the details in our marriage. I'm really not detail oriented like that. I just kind of go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
But you are
This nigga.
you help this household go. You help it go. I know I lead it, from a spiritual standpoint, and I kind of set the vibe in the house, but you make it go. And so I appreciate that about you.
Thanks.
Okay. Now, what would you tell your younger self? Okay, this is a big question. A young person, you come across they want to get married. They're similar to you guys. They're kind of on the fence. If I want to marry this person, do I not want to marry this person? What would you tell your younger self if you had to look down and say, this is what you need to know about this relationship moving forward?
About our relationship, what I tell me?
Yep. What would you tell your younger self?
Okay. I would tell me to be more patient. I will tell me to
Hold on, say that first one again.
be more patient.
Woo.
Shut up.
Woo.
I will tell me to not to try to be so much as a planner and to let God lead you more, because I'm a big planner. I plan out my whole budget for like a whole year. I try to, and then all this stuff happened. But because every time I plan, something happens.
That's life.
Yeah, that's life though. That's what I had to learn. What else would I tell? What I tell myself. Spend more time alone with your spouse. Not that I love my family, but I think that that has done a lot. Like one of the cons that I don't know what to say, but you know what I mean. And I think that's it. I think that's it.
I would tell me that get mentally strong real quick, because you're coming into a family full of
keep saying that stuff.
Full of strong women who got strong personalities. And I would say to myself, develop a whole lot more patience. Like, I've always been a patient person, but when you married, it take a whole nother level of patience.
He exhibits more patience than I do.
Absolutely, I agree with that. It takes a whole nother level, because it's like, just by nature, Malik, you would agree, women are just more emotional anyway. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the truth. You know what I mean? They're just more emotional. And so, I would
not me though.
Huh?
I said not me though.
You're just different.
Nah, it depends, Brittany. It depends. But yeah, definitely develop patience. I will tell my younger self to keep a lot of the same qualities that I already had. You know what I mean? I think I've been pretty true to myself throughout the whole process of just being with one person, loving with everything that I got. So I would definitely keep that same energy. But I would also tell my younger self, and I think this is most important, that it's important that I become something, because a lot of people will be relying on me. You know what I mean? And I kind of look at it as how my uncle, who's my pastor, I look at it how he had a role in my family when I was younger. Like he was like the spiritual standard in the family that like kept everything together for us spiritually. You know what I mean? And so I kind of see myself having that same kind of role in my wife's family now, like just being that spiritual stability with it. And I would tell myself that to stay consistent, don't quit the spiritual journey because a lot of people are relying on you for that. So that's what I would tell myself.
That the last question?
Okay. I don't think I have
The one you always ask.
more.
Any questions for us?
Oh, so do you guys have any questions for us? Like, any thoughts, any last words for the podcast or anything like that?
Yeah, I think that both, and I'm not just saying this just because you family. Well, you know, I'll tell the truth anyway. But I think that you guys are doing a great job. I commend you what you're doing. People like to hear about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to thank you all for giving us this platform to speak, because a lot of times me and Ryan don't really get a lot of these opportunities to really reflect. I mean, we go with life, and like I said, I take it for granted sometimes. So this was good for us to be able to just reflect back on, just to reflect was good. And I hope that we have helped somebody, whoever sees this podcast. I don't know who's gonna watch it or which I'm gonna edit. I'm not sure, but I do hope that, you know, we help someone. So that's all I have to say.
I would say, Malik, keep that same energy and keep getting us points on the podcast.
Oh, Lord.
That's what
Bye. Bye, sir.
Keep that same energy. Nah, man, I like the podcast, man. I be cracking up sitting watching it, man. Y'all are hilarious together, man. I think if y'all keep this and keep it going, man, it ain't no telling how big this thing can get, like real talk. And it's like y'all like the perfect dynamic of Brittany's totally deadpan and you just the nut, Malik. So it all works, man. So hey, I'm enjoying it. Keep up the good work, man.
And I think that a lot of times, like I've always said before, people aren't transparent. Like,
Yeah.
And some people, I guess, that just ain't what they called to do. I don't know, but I think y'all just need to keep being honest, and you know, you'll help somebody.
Yeah, the transparency works for real. Real talk.
You want to close us out? Go ahead. You can close us out. Go ahead.
Okay, so we thank both of you guys. You know, that's a near and dear couple to me. I consider Trey and I are first cousins, but we were raised like sisters. We were raised like sisters, and we talk every morning since I moved away from Anderson. Every single morning we talk. So what is that? Over 20 years?
Our music.
Oh yeah, she got upset with me. I said I wanted to start listening to my music in the mornings. So anyway, but like there is no closer dynamic. Well, them two closer, of course, but between, you know, two relatives. And then Ryan is like my brother too. So this is like a very near and dear, positive role model for myself. One of the best couples that I know, and especially to be so young and be so developed into each other. Like, I commend both of you guys. You know, I tell y'all all the time. And I told Malik the other day that because obviously, you know, you guys have both called me with some stuff like, hey, listen to this, am I wrong? And I told him, I look at Ryan like he's my blood too. And I don't side with Trey because she's my blood. Like, I'm gonna tell one of y'all, like, you know me, you wrong, or you wrong, like whatever. So anyway, and then y'all know I don't do that. I don't play that bias stuff. Like, it is what it is with me. I'm cut and dry. So anyway, I appreciate both of y'all, like, period, just with me and Gavin and all of that. But I appreciate you guys coming on the podcast and being a positive, traditional, another dynamic to the Marriage Madness thing that we are
Are you introducing the Marriage Madness now? You gonna tell them? You can put it out there already. Tell the people what Marriage Madness is.
Okay, well, I was saying Marriage Madness series. Okay, so we are doing a Marriage Madness series where there will be 4 couples at the end of this that we are slowly introducing one by one. And at the end, all 4 of you all will play kind of like a similar dating game, or if you've seen the TikToks where it's like who said I love you first, and then you guys have to close your eyes and like, you know,
Yeah.
this is husband or this is wife, and whoever gets the most matches wins, and then you win whatever.
Like a date on us,
yeah,
or
or something.
nature.
So there are 4 couples all together. You guys are couple number 2 that we've interviewed, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
That's what's up.
So we appreciate you guys, even though you really didn't know. Well, I think, who did I tell that? I think I told Ryan. I don't think I told Trey about the Marriage Madness thing. Okay, so well, I told Trey. I didn't tell Ryan. Okay, so because I'm equally close to both of them. But anyway, so we appreciate you guys being a part of our series. Like I said, y'all know my love for y'all and all of that or whatever. But anyway, thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you for spending an hour and a half with us. We appreciate it, away from your family. And we look forward to the series and the game that we're gonna play at the end.
That's what's up.
Nice
Looking
to
forward
meet you.
to it.
Melissa.
And I'm not
Nice to
playing.
meet
I'm
you
not
too.
playing favorites. So whoever win is whoever win.
I
Hey.
understand.
Hey,
I think the men gonna win though.
No, I'm talking about the Marriage Madness.
Yeah, but I think the men is
How
gonna
the men
carry,
go-
because they're gonna carry the load for the relationship.
Bye, Malik.
No. No, but thank you guys very much for being part of it. We really appreciate you guys. We hope you had a great time with us.
definitely did, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All righty.
All right. See y'all.
I'ma get in there like I'm supposed to.
yeah.
Gotta do it like I'm supposed to.
Yeah.